Over the past 4 years, I've run track and field. And throughout my whole life, I've been so fortunate that I've been able to play sports and have fun and enjoy that every single day. But about almost 1.5 years ago now, that was taken away. I don't know, that sounds dramatic, and it is a little dramatic, but I ended up breaking my foot. I know that's not much, but at the time it definitely hit me. I'm kind of going to walk you through it a little bit. So to lead up to this, on February 13th, 2024, it was the day before the state qualifier meet. We were out practicing. I think I was the only one at practice. There must have been something going on. I forget exactly what it was, but it was about it was like a 40-degree day. It was a warmer day. It's kind of sad that that's a warm day, but 40 degrees Fahrenheit, that is. So because it was the day before the meet, it was an easy day. I ended up doing my whole warm-up, the whole song and dance, and when I got to strides, did 1 stride down, 2 stride back, 1 stride down, and I started to feel something in my foot. It almost felt like I needed to just tie my shoelace, but there was a little bit of a pinching feeling, and I remember that very vividly. And I didn't think much of it at the time because usually in track, you can just get a little nagging injury that'll last a day or two, and it'll just go away. You'll never have it again. So I thought it was one of those. Later that evening, I had band practice, and I remember walking around the halls, and I was still feeling that pain, and it had gotten a little bit worse. I was kind of jogging around too, just trying to get in a good mental state too, because I was a little nervous for the next day. So I go to bed thinking nothing of it. So the next day, it's February 14th, Valentine's Day, and the day of the state qualifier meet. I wake up as usual, although my foot is still in pain. I ended up telling my parents, and in hindsight, my foot was probably already broken at this point, or it was on the verge if it wasn't already. We didn't know it at the time. It was the day of the state qualifier meet, so we said, just kind of see how it feels. So the day goes on, I still feel the pain, and then I had gym class, and I remember this one very vividly. We were playing kickball that day, and this was like the worst possible day to play kickball, because the whole point is kicking, and I'm a righty, so kicking with your right foot and running. And I know some people are gym class heroes. I usually am cautious because I don't want to do anything stupid. The last thing I want is a dumb injury. So I'm up to kick the ball, and my foot hit the peak of pain. But at that point, I was very nervous for the rest of the day. I remember my next period, I had computer science, and I had a lacrosse ball in my backpack, and what I ended up doing was trying to roll out my foot frantically, seeing if the pain would go away. I was thinking maybe it was like a muscle spasm or something. The rest of the day, it was just nerves and fear because I had to run later, and now I had this, and in the biggest meet of the season, this was what was happening. A few hours later, we get to the track, and it's showtime. I remember warming up and just knowing I didn't have the same power in my right foot. At this point, it was a lot of a mental game. It was just, can you tough it out? Can you push through it? So that night, I had to run both the 600-meter run and the 4x8. Which is kind of crazy to say now because that's... My event profile now is like the 200 to the 400. So about 10 minutes before the race starts, I get over to the corral or the start line area, and I'm just warming up, thinking, I hope this goes well. And then it was showtime. They ended up having us start in lanes, so instead of all on one line, they had us each staggered. I was originally supposed to be in lane 4, but because someone scratched, they ended up bumping me out to lane 5. My foot is nowhere near 100% right now. I'm still freaking out in my head, but it was showtime.
Can all the girls' coaches for girls that ran the 600, so coaches of girls that ran...
So it's about right here when I know that this is going to be a long race. It's 3 laps, but we're already 100 meters in, got 500 to go, and it hurt so bad. I'm in the blue, by the way, if I didn't make that clear.
Ran the 600. Can you please stand over the corner with the scores table?
So at this point, once we pass the cones, we're able to all cut into lane 1. I remember seeing these guys out of the corner of my eye on the left side. So let me just give a little bit of context before I go on. To my right is a runner named Keegan. Now, we had already had a couple battles throughout the year. We'd raced several times in this same race. And so it had been fun. I really enjoyed racing against him. Several times I had taken it out and then he'd taken over and just pulled me through. And other times, I remember at one meet, he led the entire race and I just kind of stuck right behind him. And he pulled me around to a lot of very fast times. So he was great to race against. So he was over to my right. And then actually this field, I had raced against several of these guys a couple times already in the season. But at this point, when I'm rounding that final turn, I can start to see a whole group of them on my left peripherals. So I think, oh shoot. And right as I hit the cones, I pick it up a little bit and make sure to get to the front so I don't get boxed in.
Auburn, Proctor, and Oswego.
At this point, we've got 1 lap to go, 200 meters. In my head, I hear that bell ring, and I just think, just put your feet on the ground. Just turn your feet over. Get out of this race. And I was still in first at this point. Already a little bit stunned that I was able to get to this point, already having my foot messed up. But I knew that this last part was just going to have to be a fight. And right at this same spot I said earlier, got 100 meters to go. This is where I peter out. This is where I had petered out the whole year. My strength wasn't all that great, but I was able to hold on to it just enough. It's kind of ironic that a lot of the thoughts and a lot of the moves being made are happening at these same points. So Keegan ends up passing me and beating me, but the top 2 finishers would end up going to the state meet, and I just barely made the time. So I just finished the race. Really had no immediate thoughts. Like, it was just emptiness because you're just exhausted. Went over, congratulated him, talked to him for a minute, and then I just sat on the ground. And all that pain and inflammation just flooded my foot. Editing me here in the future, I just realized as I was watching this video, the amount of cheers for Keegan, and then my dad was cheering for me. I didn't even realize that. It's been a minute since I've watched this video, but I always enjoy just hearing the surround sound. It brings me right back. Obviously, right now, we're not in race season, but I always enjoy racing, and then whenever you get to go against guys several times in a season, it's a lot of fun. So a quick little shout out to anyone I've ever raced. It's been a bunch of fun. And Keegan, for whatever reason, if you're watching this, and if you even remember any of this, shout out. This story's already been long enough, but I ended up having to scratch out of the 4x8, and that was a really tough decision for me because obviously you run with the boys all season. You train with them during the tough times. You're there during the toughest workouts, during the easy runs. You're there all the time, and they're your best friends. Like, that was a really tough pill for me to swallow, having to just scratch out of that. But at the end of the day, I knew that I couldn't go any further. I was trying to warm up in between for that next race, and I had nothing in that foot. I remember jogging around and trying to warm up, and people probably thought I was crazy. I was only warming up one side because I just couldn't put my foot down. So as I get home that night, I call my brother because he was away at college, and I just kind of told him, we talked about it. He's probably my biggest supporter. And it was a flood of emotions because I had just made the state meet. But I also knew that there's probably something more to that. So Valentine's Day 2024 was not the best day for me. Not only did I have a broken foot, but I also did not have a Valentine that day. As the days went on, I didn't end up practicing. I think I was on the bike for the next few days, and I just put my heel on the bike and was pedaling. Once the pain and the swelling wasn't really going away, we decided to go get it checked out. Ended up going to get it x-rayed, and the results, well, I had to wear this stupid thing. I had fractured the second metatarsal in my right foot. I started thinking about the future seasons for about an hour, and just a whole bunch of random thoughts kind of flooded through my head. And then eventually, all that passed, and I was back in the present moment. And at that point, I decided just whatever you got to do to get back and finish up this outdoor season is what you're going to do. So at that point, I ended up just kind of working my tail off in the weight room, the bike, on the elliptical, anything I could do. And I probably didn't do some things correctly. I probably pushed myself a little too hard at times, but the doctors don't need to know that. What was really cool was at the end of the season, I was able to get back and run a couple relays with the same team that I wasn't able to earlier in the season, so that was really special. It's important to always try to make the best of these situations, and they're not fun. Like, that was not a fun time for me. It was tough too, especially during outdoor, because there were a whole bunch of new teammates that had come in, and I wasn't really able to interact with them. I wasn't able to talk. My favorite part of sports and running track is just the connections and everyone you meet and see, especially your teammates. Like, there's no tighter bond than your teammates. Like I said earlier, they're with you through literally every tough workout, everything. They're some of your best friends because you're spending so much time with them. And it's a tough pill to swallow when you're not able to be around them. I think that was the biggest thing that this injury showed me, was the amount of support I had around me. Not only from my immediate family, but with my friends as well. Like, we tried to make the best of the situation. And I'm so grateful for each and every one of them. Oh, no! Oh, I think my camera just ran out of storage. Shoot! Right at the wholesome part too. Come on. But what I was saying was, I'm so grateful for all of the support I had around me. And if there's anything to learn from that, it's that sports and track, in this case, all of the awards, the accolades, all that stuff, the accomplishments, the goals that you set, they're all great things, but at the end of the day, it's the people that are around you that make it all possible. I know that sounds really cliche, but it's so true. There's no greater bond than your friends and your teammates, because your teammates are typically your friends. But there is no greater feeling than knowing that you have such great people around you, helping you, guiding you, suffering through you through these treacherous workouts sometimes. Our coach was a little mean at times, but it was all worth it though in the end of the day. Some of my favorite memories of high school are just running these awful workouts, and the rest of us are just sitting there like lying on the ground about to die at the end of them. But I wouldn't trade that for the world. So that was a story I'd kind of held on for a while. Actually, I don't know if I've ever really told it in full. Actually, I didn't really tell the whole story. I think this video is already over like 20 minutes, so I could go on and on and on if I wanted to, but I primarily focus on diabetes content. But if you'd like to see more of these, I love making these videos and just kind of sharing my thoughts and experiences, especially around sports and track. I mean, that's one of the greatest blessings I think humans have been given, is sports. I'm going to leave you with this. If you're on a team, if you're not on the team, if you're in a club, if you're in whatever the situation may be, go out and find a group like Mom. Can you concur?
Yes, I do.
But yeah, go out and try to find a really good group of people. And even if you're a little bit shy or you think it may be awkward or whatever, a lot of these people are probably in the same situation. In many cases, people are just kind of waiting for that first move to be made, and then they'll open up. If any of my teammates or friends are watching, I want to thank you for getting me through this nightmare. It was not a fun time, but I couldn't have asked for a better group of people. And I hope that you all are able to find a group that has been just as great. I want to thank you for watching this video. If you made it to this part, I think
Ladies and gentlemen,
jeez.
can I please have your attention?
I've got over 35 minutes of recording. Man, I got a lot to edit. I hope you enjoyed, and remember to keep your spirits up and your sugars low.